Hi, everyone. Welcome to a very special edition of Journey, our podcast series here at the Anaplan community, where we highlight some of our incredible community members. Today's a little bit different. I'm actually joined by three incredible individuals who are all part of our Community Boss program. You could think of that as like our super users. Really excited to talk to you today. I guess we've got to start at the beginning. Why don't I have each of you introduce yourselves? Tell us what your current role is, where you're based out of, and maybe just let us know a little bit about how long you've been a part of the Anaplan community. Why don't we start with Andrew?
Yeah, thanks, Dennis. So I'm Andrew Ty. I'm from the UK, as some of you may tell from my accent. I work for Aviva. They're a large financial services organisation, so general insurance, pensions, that sort of thing. I've been at Aviva for 4 years and Anaplan been using it for nearly 8 years now. And I've been Master Anaplanner since the beginning of 2018.
Thank you, Andrew. Awesome to have you here. Krill, why don't we turn it over to you? Tell us a little
Yeah,
bit about
hi
yourself.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Russia, from Moscow, and now kind of traveling all around the world. I started my year in Vietnam. Now I'm in Kazakhstan, so it's like all over the places. I'm already 6 years in Anaplan. Yeah, started with Diageo and with one of the biggest COE out there, and it was quite good to be a part of this great team. Yeah, who I learned from a lot.
Awesome. Great to have you. Thank you so much. Timmy, over to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Timmy. I'm based in the West Coast of the US in Oregon. I work at Groupon as a finance manager on the Anaplan COE here. I've been here coming up on 2 years now and been in the Anaplan ecosystem about 3.5, close to 4 years now. So the relative newbie of the group.
Right on. This is awesome. I think we've got a great crew here, and I feel like let's just dive in because the three of you have amazing backgrounds. You've been a part of the community for a while, and obviously now part of our Community Boss program. When we're looking at 2023, as we only got a couple more days left of this calendar year, I'd love to hear from each of you about your biggest professional success this year. Maybe let's start with Kirill.
Yeah, like there are a lot of different things, but I think that being recognized as a community boss member in Anaplan is quite an accomplishment for me because I worked for it for a bit in Anaplan and hope to keep doing it because I love it. And also whole bunch of different projects I made on a daily basis, though I'm proud of. So
Yeah, could you maybe tell us a little bit about maybe one of those projects? You don't have to tell us too much detail, but I'd love to just hear a little bit, and I know our audience would, about one of the big ones you did this year.
For me, big accomplishment was one of our clients. They had a big story of implementation of one of their models, and it got a little bit too big, and not everything was optimized perfect. So first thing I made when I came to the project was to optimize everything I saw, because like starting with naming, and now it keeps growing, but already in the best perfect way with all the best practices. So this is an accomplishment for me.
Incredible. Yeah, congrats for that. Timmy, I'd love to maybe highlight a big professional success for you in 2023, if you wouldn't mind sharing with us.
Sure, yeah, I'll say the same as Krill in terms of being named a community boss was a huge accomplishment. And on the other hand, in terms of like my actual job, just getting promoted from a senior analyst to a manager and really owning a process that I kind of helped build here at Groupon has been a really, really big like step forward for me. Just moving into more of a management role and having that responsibility. It's definitely it's a change, but it's one that you kind of need to go through in your career at some point. So it's been a learning process this year, moving into that role.
Absolutely. Congratulations. I'd love to, just before I jump over to Andrew, I'd love to, we're talking about the Community Boss program, and both of you have highlighted that as a big success and a great achievement. Could you maybe, Timmy, just give me, or give the audience really, how do you become a community boss? Like we mention it as a super user. What exactly does that entail? And how were you chosen? I'd love to be able to share that with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it came as a bit of a surprise when I was reached out to by Becky on your team about the program, and really it just came down to being active in the community and being someone that goes out on the forums and helps answer questions, but also is involved with all the events that Anaplan puts on, and making sure you're just trying to help others out. And that's kind of the purpose of the program, is to have a group of people that are focused on bettering the community, as well as just advancing the product of Anaplan itself. And yeah, I think it's been a really cool opportunity and a good chance to get some insight into what Anaplan itself is thinking on the product and community side.
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. And I think one of the things that I continue to see as I move through my career here at Anaplan and get to meet each of you individuals is just, community being that place to foster good vibes. I feel like anytime anyone has a question on the forums, anytime I see presenters, there's never a feeling of what's the word I'm looking for? That someone's dumb. I feel when we look towards our community bosses too, they are really on that level of making everyone feel included. And so it's wonderful. I believe it is a huge achievement for all three of you, and I'm really glad to hear you highlight that. Andrew, 2023, how was it for you? Got a big accomplishment you want to share with us? Yeah.
So this year, and we've recently just gone through the whole end of year review cycle, and you kind of, as part of that, you start to write down the things, and you're like, yes, this is why we're tired. We're absolutely knackered, but it's only because we've done so much work. I think the two things that really stand out for me are we've got a 25 person COE across the entire skill range. There's some really junior people all the way up to sort of solution architects, design leads, and we've had some of the team kind of really show their skills in building, and now they've kind of migrated to kind of to doing that project lead. So start to finish, the engagement with their end users, requirements, all of the Anaplan way activity, and we've really been able to sort of strengthen our sort of solution design set within the team, which is really good, because most people can build. Actually being able to deliver and define and lead people to build as well is quite a tricky thing. So we're really pleased that 2 or 3 people have done that, and that's great. And then from a my own personal sort of satisfaction, we've got really great traction with management reporting now. So we've got a couple of really great use cases where that's being used live and in earnest by those teams. And as I always say to people that are going, oh, who's built out these management reporting pages and slides and stuff, and go, well, we haven't done any of it. It's not been us. It's not the Anaplan team. Yeah, we make sure the model works and all that stuff, but all of the pages always get built by the end users. and that I think has really helped drive that engagement. And then they can go away and build whatever they need to build, which is quite helpful. And then the second bit is we've started to move more outside of kind of traditional finance FP&A activity, to some more odd stuff that goes on in a large multinational finance organization that isn't FP&A, and moving more into, you know, outside of finance as well, into things like, you know, operational planning, and just other areas where we're able to now get more of that, you know, connected planning type view of, you know, various models now joined together, which hasn't necessarily been the case before.
Yeah, I could see that, A, being a lot, and B, also being exciting to come on that other side. And more importantly, I got to talk about your festive attire. I just want to say thank you for really leaning into the holiday spirit.
Yes,
it's
right. I mean, if I mean, there are lights on that tree, and but you know, we're all about the eco-ness, and it would just dazzle people, I think, a bit too much with the lights on.
Well, I'm dazzled by the three of you. So let me kind of we're talking about sort of looking back at this year. I want to take a moment to kind of we're talking about achievements from 2023. Let's talk about forward looking for 2024. When I'm thinking about where we're going, I'd love to know strategies or maybe mindset shifts that played a crucial role in your success that maybe our folks who are watching could learn from. Timmy, let me start with you. Share a little bit of some strategies, some things that worked for you in your role this year, and maybe some things that you learned along the way that are going to help you in 2024, and why you're excited to get into the new calendar year.
Yeah, I mean, I am a fully remote worker and have been that way since I started at Groupon. They're based in Chicago, so I'm quite a ways away. And I think the first 5 or 6 months or so working here wasn't too big of a deal, but then you do get a little bit like stuck in your routine and you're never leaving the house. And it just, I think there came a point this year where I was not through anything with like the company or anything, but I was just kind of like losing motivation throughout the day. So I've just made a really big point to try to get out of the house at least once a day if possible, if not, you know, every other day, just to try to see, you know, other people and at least just get away from the screen for 15 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever it may be. And I think that's really helped with my productivity, because I always find when I get back, I'm a little more energized and feel more able to, you know, go into a model and really do that focus time. And on that point, also just really structuring my time better, making sure, you know, even if I have open blocks on my calendar, oftentimes that gets filled with, you know, like a quick call or chats. And sometimes that makes it difficult to do really intensive builds that take a lot of focus. So, you know, just putting like 2-hour blocks, even if it's not every day, to make sure that I can really get those really important builds done, even if it's not something that has to be done tomorrow. If I don't do that, I know that it's just going to get into crunch time quickly, and then I, you know, have to block off the whole day. So those are a couple things I've tried to implement this year that have worked, and I'm hoping I can do even better with both of them next year.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I really resonate with that too. I work from home as well, and there's some days where you know you don't leave your office or your home, and then you realize that it's Friday and you haven't gone anywhere. So it's so important to get that a little bit of space from work, let yourself reconnect. Kirill, let me ask you the same question. Maybe some mindset shifts, some strategies that you saw in 2023 that you're excited to continue with or dig into more in 2024?
Yeah, so what I was talking that the other part is community, and wherever I have a free time to just rest my mind from work is a good place. because it's still important enough for my career. Yeah, and I can like read an article in a blog, or listen a podcast. It's just 10 minutes, but you can get some insights for yourself. Yeah, and whatever bad thoughts you have had about your like present, you can just find something new for yourself. And yeah.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. I mean, I think I would be foolish if I didn't ask you, where did you go sailing and for how long were you out there? I'd love to hear. Yeah.
It was a week.
Yeah.
Just a week, but still, since it's like my first experience, like true experience of being on my own, it's quite a big deal for me. Yeah, I hope like next year and the year after I will continue doing it because I enjoy it. Yeah, so I think any kind of sport or hobby always helps, like in these situations, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. And never the how say the ability to choose your hobby and to choose like today, like I was thinking for a very long time to go paint something. Just do it, because when if it's not now. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. And I agree. And especially as we're moving into a new calendar year, this is a good time for all of us to be thinking about that work-life balance and what fills you up and what excites you. That being said, Andrew Ty, I gotta know for you, what are you thinking about as you're moving into 2024? What maybe mindset like shifts for you have occurred over the past year that you're looking to implement as you move into the new year?
Yeah, so sort of very much like sort of what Timmy and Bill said. It's finding that thing outside of work, and kind of, I'm fortunate I am in the office, a couple of days a week here and there, which does significantly break up the routine and help. But one thing that me and my partner do at home is very much we have dinner like every day, because it means you got to stop work, but it also gives like a good end to that day. And it's sort of, people think, oh, dinner and lunch, but you kind of have to try and think, well, when we're in the office, for those that weren't doing remote beforehand, it's like, how do you keep that routine? And one thing that from a sort of like professional way is what we're now trying to do is make sure that all of our people are fully engaged. So we are now trying to make sure that through our stand-ups and our team meetings, we're trying to get that sense of a bit more community. So half of our team are UK based, half of our team are based out in India, and that whole kind of shared experience that you would normally get in an office on a Monday morning. How can we try and sort of get that same sort of togetheriness when you're 4.5 time zones different?
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
what we're going to try on into next year. It's hard to do.
It
I
absolutely
think we've
is.
got it working
Yeah.
well enough so that everyone has a voice. You're not hearing from the same people all the time, and that it just gives everyone a better sense of the work they're doing. They understand that in sports, but then also as the senior leader, they can see that we kind of care about what they're doing outside of work, which I think helps.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this dovetails nicely into sort of the next question I'd like to talk about, which is, we are a global community, the Anaplan community. We got folks, I mean, I'm talking to folks all across the globe right now. How, as community bosses, are you working to really unite the community together? Talk to me a little bit about how you've been in this new role, reaching out to our community members, and if anyone's listening today and is sort of on the fence about being more active in the community, maybe you could give them some points. I guess I'll just throw it right back to you, Andrew, since we were just talking about that. I'd love to just hear a little bit about your perspective there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's a. I mean, obviously, I've been around in the Anaplan ecosystem for quite some time, so I've got quite a lot of knowledge and experience. And clearly, as well as being a community boss, I'm a master Anaplanner, and both of those things have that sense of giving it back, and sharing, and making sure that whilst you're not necessarily giving people the answer, because sometimes you don't really appreciate that, but you're being guided down the path of, yeah, either someone's not quite got the quite right answer, or someone said this is what you should do, and you're like, no, that is right. That's exactly on the nail what it is, and then being able to go, yeah, whoever it happens to be, that's the answer. You've got the right thing. And and if you're kind of on the fence of, well, do I want to engage more, not engage more? It isn't a lot of effort and it isn't a lot of time, 10, 20 minutes every couple of days ago or so. You might find questions that you're like, no, I don't know anything about that, but I know stuff about modeling or UX design or whatever your area of expertise is. And then you'll go, well, if I was a new person, I'd want some support. So I'm going to give a bit of support back. I'm going to, answer a couple of questions. And then eventually you'll kind of be thinking, well, actually, then you might want to write a blog and talk to the rest of your team, Dennis, Becky and Ginger, to go, actually, yeah, I'd really like a blog. I'd like to be on one of those podcasts. And then before you know it, you end up being a community boss, and ending up on things like this. And it's a really good way of, being involved in the Anaplan ecosystem, which doesn't require a great deal of effort, because you're doing it anyway. You're doing it at work. You're making sure your colleagues at work are doing Anaplan really, really well. So, and you never know where your path might take you. So if you're not helpful, shall we say, on the community, it may come back and bite you. Basically, that's what I'd say.
I appreciate that. Kirill, let me ask you the same question. As a community boss, talk to me a little bit about how you've done outreach to the community, and maybe if there's someone watching, what you would say about joining community, being more active.
Yeah. So me myself, I really love to help people, first of all, and like this is the most important. And when people are thankful for being helpful for them, is like the best I can get. And this is what we do our job, not only for thank you, of course. Yeah, but still, like it's a lot for me to get like this feedback, and that's why I love to share my knowledge and help people out in my favorite forum where I can find any unanswered or even answered questions, but still if I would like to add something, I would definitely do it every time when I have time. Yeah, and yeah, to these kind of situations when I can join in a conversation with you guys and talk together and share stuff with other people, this is a big deal for me. And that's why I feel like that anyone who wants and how to say a feedback of their knowledge, this is the best place where you can do it, the community, because you can fulfill two of the things, like asking questions, you can gain more knowledge, and by answering them, you can also gain a lot of great stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, Timmy, I'd love to hear your perspective on this as well.
Yeah, I think in the last year especially, I've tried to kind of develop those connections to community members that I know like in my region. So about a year ago, we had a Pacific Northwest Anaplan meetup in Portland, which was really fun. And there were about 20, 25 people there. And a few of them, I, got their contact info from them. And since then we've become friends, and I've gone up to just meet up with them. And, it's kind of a nice way to realize, especially, as people that work with an Anaplan, I think we all know sometimes you'll be talking to someone, just randomly and bring up what you do. And then they're like, what is Anaplan? Like, what is model building? And that can be fun, but sometimes it's nice to just, have that connection with someone and be able to talk, about career and community and all of that. So that's been something I've focused on this year. And also just like on community, you'll see the same people over and over again. And I've just kind of gotten into the habit of connecting with people on LinkedIn outside of community. And a lot of times, like Andrew was saying, you never really know where your path is going to lead. I connected with someone at Groupon through Anaplan before I even joined here, and that kind of helped foster that connection. So I think just really making those connections when they appear and not ignoring them can be really helpful, whether it be career-wise or personally, making a new friend. And yeah, I'd highly recommend anybody just to get involved, because there's really no downside. Worst case, you learn something.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I appreciate the three of you. And one of the things, and I think it might have been Andrew, but I feel like all three of you are saying too, is just folks being who they are in our community, positivity. There's so much of that. And three of you have just really highlighted that. I mean, folks just commenting in a nice way in a forum.
That's what I wanted actually to add.
Right? Yeah, Kirill, right? I mean, I just think like that's a huge thing.
think
Yeah.
Anaplan community is the nicest people in the internet. like really, they all so polite and welcome and happy to help. That's something special. It feels like you need a special topic for like psychology group where people can just share their troubles.
I mean, it's you're right on the money, and I think our community is only as good as the community members we have. And when I look across this globe and I see everyone who's participating with our Community Boss program, with our CMA program and our COE program, just joining a user group, joining forums and radiating that positivity, it just builds all of us up, and it just builds that ecosystem up in a way that, to your point, Kirill, makes it one of the nicer places to be a part of, because there's some nasty spots out there, and I don't see that from here. And so I want to say thank you to our community bosses, and thank you to all of our members of the community for keeping Anaplan a super positive, forward-thinking spot. That being said, at the end of our session here, I feel like I've got to ask you all, in my final sort of question to you, we're coming to the end of the year. Is there anyone or any team that you would like to say thank you to, express gratitude towards, acknowledgement for their support in your successes? Love to just give some nice shout outs to folks. Andrew, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so I think so your product DevOps teams, all of them pretty much within Anaplan. It's often when people go, oh yeah, our end users will go, oh, we'd really like to be able to do, this really odd table formatting, or why can't we do, a bit of functionality? We go, oh well, yeah, we've seen the roadmap, we've got good connections with product, we know there's a thing coming on. Wait a couple of months and it'll be here. And that sort of sense of the Anaplan organization listening to what we as users are saying and wanting, and actually doing something about it. You know, we all work for big organizations. We've all got various bits of software doing various things. I don't know of many that are that reactive to what end users actually want the platform to do, and have that sense of kind of, yeah, like that whole, you know, you said we did type of activity. So I think, you know, just the product teams. I mean, it's, you know, there is the cliche of, you know, you guys make us look good sort of thing, but very much, you know, we wouldn't be able to do half of what we do without that continual improvement stuff. So yeah,
I
if I had
appreciate
a
it.
hat, I'd take it off.
Thank you, my friend, and we'll make sure to cut this little piece out and send it to the crew.
Little
Let
hat
them
on my
know.
head.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Timmy, let me ask you the same question. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to who's that you feel a lot of gratitude towards, or you want to just give a thank you for their support throughout the year? Could be anyone. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'll definitely reflect what Andrew said about the product team. More personally, just on my team, my manager Dragona, and then my close teammate Sachin have been really great this past year, both in just supporting my career journey as well as, you know, just functioning as a team. I think we've come together really well this past year, and through a lot of changes in our company have kind of kept our COE pretty stable. And then also just the community team here, you know, you, Dennis, Becky, Ginger, Jameson, thank you guys so much for everything you do, and inviting us on here and to be community bosses. It's been a really, really fun year.
Likewise, and thank you. Feel the exact same way. Kirill, how about yourself?
Yeah, also I want to thank, first of all, Anaplan team in general. Like, you guys are all awesome and helpful. Yeah, also I want to thank my manager, because this year was kind of tough for many of us, and the previous one, and so they do so much work to make everything so nice. So just want to be thankful for, just another person maybe who shout out first when recognized me as an active person in community was Jared. You all know him. So, and he just some time ago he wrote me in LinkedIn and mentioned that I'm doing a great job. I most definitely should be a community boss at some point. It was so pleasing to read. So yeah,
That's
thank
wonderful
you.
to hear. Yeah. I mean, I think I echo everything the three of you have said. I would like to say thank you and huge shouts of gratitude to you three, all of our community bosses, all of our amazing community members, our customers, our partners, and definitely this incredible, probably the best community team you could ever possibly imagine, Ginger, Becky, and Jameson. This has been an incredible year, and we're really excited about 2024. And I want to say thank you for joining me today on this really fun, different format for the Journey podcast. I hope everyone tuning in today feels that gratitude and that excitement and that inclusivity that we have here at the Animaland community. We can't do this without you all. We're only as good as our community members, and I think we have the best community members you could ever possibly imagine. So happy holidays, and we look forward to 2024. From everybody here at Anaplan, thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Take care.